If I didn't do football, I'd be grinding the streets of New York doing finance.
I only had 2 offers out of high school.
You were ranked the 140th best quarterback in the class of 2022.
The 7th, 8th, and 9th grade, I was always the backup quarterback. I was never the most physically talented kid. I was never really tall. I didn't have a growth spurt until later on in my high school career, and I wasn't very strong. I would always be getting a lot of throwing reps on the scout teams, but I would always be very prepared.
My mom especially was always like, if you want to be a quarterback, you stick to the quarterback. Have that confidence, even though I was terrible.
I transferred to another high school, and then we had a pretty good career there. Was 2 state titles. And coming out, the only committable offer I had was Yale. Great academic institution. However, not what I was really looking for in football. My intuition and my mom was like, you're gonna get a big offer, just wait, just wait, just wait. And I was like, all right, I guess I'll just wait till late signing day to see what happens. All of a sudden, Cal comes out of nowhere. The Cal coach came to see me throw, did a little IQ on the board, and after that he was like, all right, you got an offer. The game is 10 times faster. Everybody was grown men, and I was still a little bit of like a high school kid.
Okay.
So that freshman year, I knew I wasn't ready to play, but I was like, this is my developmental year. I'm gonna do everything possible to develop, like extra lifts, because I didn't really need to work on throwing. That year I really took to develop, and then the next year I was in a quarterback competition between 3 quarterbacks.
Wow.
Obviously I was very confident in myself, but at the end I was a little disappointed. I was slated as a 3rd-string quarterback out of that competition. The year goes on, we're not having too good of a year. I ended up getting a chance against my first team was around 17th in the nation, Oregon State, my first game.
Steps away from trouble, he'll take off. We like the physicality of Fernando Mendoza.
I played, had a good game, finished out that season. We went 6-6, which for Cal was really, really good at the time. It was the first bowl game we've made in 4 years.
He escapes, Mendoza flips, a foot save, has the touchdown.
This past year, had another quarterback competition, dueled it out, won. We also ended 6-6 this year, which was a little disappointing because we had a lot of close games, but there's a lot of good experience and good situational experiences that I learned from.
And they're going to fake it to him and go over the top. It is caught! Touchdown!
I like to pass the ball. I can run. There's been some, highlights last year that, I've been able to get out of the side of the pocket and situationally run.
I started going on YouTube and watching the Cal games, and it's like, there's a little Andrew Luck here. There's a toughness here.
I do pride myself in being a faster guy, but passing is my strength.
Climbs the pocket and he throws, and it's caught! Touchdown!
If Cal hadn't come calling, I would be at an Ivy League school, and how different my life would have been. Maybe I wouldn't even be playing football anymore. Maybe I would be in banking or whatever, a lot of the kids do at Yale. I'm just really trusting in God's plan for me, so.
But those 2 years that I did play at Cal were great, and they were both bowl bursts for them.
What was it about Coach Cignetti, just Bloomington, the whole Indiana family, that convinced you that's where you wanted to play?
Well, Indiana's a big party school. I'm joking. But
I'm sure that was a tough decision, right? There's lots of people wanting to come play for them. And what was it about IU that said, I feel good here?
There was a couple of schools that I was in between. It was between Indiana and Georgia, which are great coaching staffs, great history with their quarterbacks and their quarterback development. But the reason that IU stood out, and it stood out way above the rest, was the number one factor, was the development.
Whenever talking to scouts or honestly analyzing my own game, I realized I needed to develop into a pro-ready quarterback and really align with my NFL goals.
Our last 4 quarterbacks were Player of the Year in the conference, all 4 at JMU.
And the only one that wasn't was Curtis Rourke, who had a phenomenal season, and he finished 9th in Heisman voting this year. And so that's something that was extremely attractive to me, along with playing with my brother, having a great locker room here with all my other teammates, and being in the great city of Bloomington.
Is there pressure coming in off of a season like they just had? Obviously getting to the college football playoff, but like you said, they were one of the best offenses in the country, and now it's your turn to take care of it.
I see it as a great opportunity. I'm extremely grateful to be able to play for such an amazing offense, but at the same time, I realized I was brought in here to do a job.
Going for the corner, it's caught, it's Surratt, it is touchdown.
That's one of the reasons that I came here. A big reason with Indiana offensive system is its variety and how multiple it is, and what great detail the offense is, and how it develops people for the next level. And the playbook, I mean, all the best NFL teams, they don't just run one thing. They run a variety, a real agenda and binder of plays.
Yeah.
Look at that. Touchdown, Surratt.
There's absolutely nothing attractive about Indiana from a football standpoint. I don't know how he's done it.
We're not trying to sustain success. We're trying to improve. We're very process-driven in everything we do.
Indiana has put up 73 points against Indiana State. Indiana's total yards, 680. Over 300 on the ground, 300 in the air, and 11 straight wins at home. That is a new program record.
Really, the first real big game was Illinois. They were 9th in the country.
We could look back at the end of the season and say this is a result that decided a playoff spot. Illinois at Indiana.
I don't know if the Hoosiers are as good as they were a year ago. I just don't.
I think Illinois can be an equally dynamic version of that, of what Indiana was last year.
I mean, we were waiting on Illinois. They were number 9 in the country. They were going to be this year's Indiana.
I'm leaning Illinois here, Andy.
You're taking Illinois to cover. I am taking Illinois to cover.
I have to lean Illinois in this game.
I think Illinois wins the game outright.
And, we wiped them out here at home.
Second punt for Clemens. One is blocked. Got in there in a beat. D'Angelo Barnes is going to score. To the outside. Cooper had 4 touchdowns last week. Looking for his first today, and he's got it. Looks, steps into one. End zone. Touchdown.
I am done picking against Indiana. I'm done. Because this year's Indiana is probably better than last year's Indiana.
To the end zone, wide open. Elijah Surratt, touchdown. Up the middle, lot of space. Black is gone. And Indiana is up over 60 here at home.
Indiana beat Illinois 63-10.
I'm not going to say it lightly. It was a tough game, and I did not play my best. I played very subpar. However, it's great to, have such a resilience and have such an offense that's so resilient that, doesn't give up.
Here's the throw, catch is made, down the middle of the field goes Surratt, touchdown! And Indiana scores a 49-yard pass play.
One of the biggest games in the Big Ten is happening on Saturday. Indiana visits the Oregon Ducks.
Is this the first opportunity for them to go play a marquee, big-time opponent that the entire country respects?
Oregon was 2 or 3 in the country at the time, and I think that was a big step for us because there were still a lot of doubters nationally.
That Oregon team just feels very deep to me.
I don't see them getting it done. It's hard to play at Autzen, it really is. That crowd's just phenomenal. I got the Ducks in this one.
Mendoza gonna go on the sideline and got it complete to Surratt. Backpedals, fires, got a man there, and it's got him! Malik Benson, touchdown!
I thought Oregon was an extremely impressive team on tape, and it was a hard place to play. I thought it'd be critical that, number one, we have a great mindset.
Mendoza throws off his back foot, it's intercepted. Picked off by the Ducks, and it's Brandon Finney, the freshman, touchdown!
And that we would be able to overcome adversity during the course of the game.
Mendoza throws complete, got it to Surratt, first down, and then Surratt with his motion man on that play, and now he's in motion. Surratt's got it, first and goal.
Without flinching, ever letting doubt creep in, being resilient, so to speak.
They pressure the throw to the end zone. Touchdown! Wow, what a play!
Fernando, when was the first time that you thought to yourself, I may be able to play on Sundays?
Mid-year, when we played Oregon at Autzen Stadium and came back, I was like, wow, maybe I can play in the NFL.
On the road at Oregon, the Big Ten champion from a year ago, one of the best teams in the country.
This Indiana team, I think, is substantially better and more dependable, more reliable than last year's Indiana team.
And what a win for Curt Cignetti and the Indiana Hoosiers.
Be sure to comment below your favorite play or game from Fernando's college career, and subscribe to the Sideline Films newsletter to get all these same sports stories from YouTube in newsletter format. Linked in the description and somewhere on the top right of your screen.
Here in State College, Pennsylvania, we've got a chance to see the number 2 team in the nation, the undefeated Indiana Hoosiers at 9-0, ready to take on Penn State.
We had a chance to put Penn State away in the third quarter, and we didn't do it. And they gained momentum, scored 17 straight, and we had 2 or 3 drives where we did absolutely nothing.
You've got Penn State coming back, taking the lead against Indiana.
There's a minute 40 to go on the clock. We got to go 75 yards with no timeouts.
And the first play, around it was like a minute left, and I took a sack.
Mendoza, he's got to let it fly, and they get it again!
Second and 17. And at that point, there couldn't have been many people in the stadium thinking it looks very good for Indiana.
Second and 17, comes in over the middle, and a first down for Omar Cooper. That's a 22-yard gain.
There was 11 guys in that huddle. Yeah. Flip the switch just like that, starting with the quarterback.
Mendoza, sideline throw, caught out of bounds, E.J. Williams. He picks up 13.
And then he just threw darts down the field, and our guys made plays. And
Mendoza over the middle. Oh, he's got it! A gain of 29.
Well, if Fernando Mendoza is going to have a Heisman moment, this would be the time to do it. And oh my God, did he ever have a drive for the ages.
Mendoza.
Is it a touchdown? Touchdown! Unbelievable! Omar Cooper with a grab!
Give him the Heisman Trophy now!
Or when I saw that catch and the way that game ended, it felt a little bit of like Team of Destiny.
We do a team Bible study every single Thursday. It's been a really good routine where I get the guys dialed in. We're talking about the struggles of our life. And I think it's been a really good bonding moment for all of us and how we can be more like Christ, especially in such a crazy world nowadays.
Coach, a perfect regular season. You all now head to the Big Ten Championship for the first time in Indiana football history. In just 2 years, there's been so many firsts for this university.
Someday I'll reflect back on it, but we got too much ahead of us right now.
In Indiana, this is an obvious one. This is the biggest game in the history of their program, period. You know, they've got a chance to not only win the conference title, not only lock up the #1 seed in the college football playoff, but also possibly win a Heisman Trophy.
Ohio State's a 5.5-point favorite. Indiana is coming in trying to prove a point.
Indiana is a wagon, but is there a part of you that is not quite sure if they are equipped to beat Ohio State?
This is not an Indiana thing for me. I'm not sure there's anybody that can beat this Ohio State team.
I love Mendoza, but the RPO system, I think he's just easier to stop than Julian Sandman's offense. So, love Ohio State.
I think Ohio State wins. I think it's probably within a score, but I still think Ohio State covers.
I don't know if Ohio State's played their best game because they haven't had to.
Until further notice, Ohio State's the best team in the country, and I'm taking them to win, and I will take them to cover.
Mendoza throwing on first down underneath, and it's caught for gain of 9.
Well, offensively, they've got their quarterback laying on the field. He got hit, and he was in pain immediately.
Although I got hit, I was never going to stay down, and that's one thing I know.
You know, he's a tough guy. He takes some shots. He extends plays, and
It was a high-level game, very physical. Both defenses played really well. Both defenses limited the offenses.
What we talked about at halftime, do we have the perseverance? Are we tough enough?
you know, do we have what it takes to win a gut check physical game like this? This is going to be a test of our, you know, our toughness and our persistence.
Steps up, down the field. Caught! Inside the 30! Charlie B!
And Fernando delivered dimes, and receivers made some nice catches.
They have a really tough third down situation in the red zone, and
Mendoza, fade, Surratt, corner! Touchdown, Indiana!
Coach, your defense had 8 tackles for loss, 5 sacks.
Sprints out, sets up, looks out, and they get him again.
What made them get after the quarterback? What made you guys so successful on defense?
Well, I mean, that's been who we've been all year, and really since 2019, I'm not going to lie to you. All in all, I thought we played pretty well.
Fielding comes in to attempt a 27-yarder. No good! Big play here, 3rd and 6.
Once again, when the game was on the line, Charlie Becker was showing up making big plays. Fernando was throwing dimes.
Mendoza! Natty does it! In 2 years, the Indiana Hoosiers are champions of the Big Ten.
It sounds so beautiful. I want to give all the glory to God. We were never supposed to be in this position, but by the glory of God, the great coaches, great teammates.
Although I seem like it, I'm not a cornball. So that one just came pure emotion. That was like our national championship at the time. Indiana beating Ohio State was crazy. The plan was I had 2 years of eligibility. After the Big Ten Championship Ohio State game, you need to choose your classes for the next semester. And there were projections that had going pretty high in the draft. So at that point, I told the academic advisor, hey, I'm going to be an MBA dropout and maybe going to finish the MBA later on. Who knows, in my career.
The winner of the 2025 Heisman Trophy is Fernando Mendoza.
Mommy, this is your trophy as much as it is mine. You've always been my biggest fan. You're my light, you're my why, you're my biggest supporter. You and I are rewriting what people think is possible. I love you.
My mom has multiple sclerosis. She always has a smile on her face. She always fights every single day and has this optimistic approach that whenever I have a bad game, bad practice, or bad lift, I know that I owe it to her to always be optimistic and positive.
Tell us, Paul, who are you taking, Indiana or Alabama?
I'm not picking Indiana, I can tell you that right now.
Well, okay.
And I don't want to sound like an elitist here, but I'll believe it when I see it.
What's terrifying about Alabama is like the unquantifiable. Like Alabama is the cousin you're going to see at Christmas dinner that you haven't seen since last year.
I will take Alabama to go out to Pasadena and be the one that beats Indiana this year.
Alabama, super classy program, one of the most prestigious programs in the SEC. Shout out to them, they did a fantastic job. However,
Bernard comes in motion, they pop it to him, trying to get the edge, and he's not going to get there. Indiana with a 4th down stop. Here it comes, Mendoza has time, lows end zone, caught, touchdown Becker.
What's different in your opinion about this iteration of Indiana this year?
They're more physical,
No doubt.
all right? They're a lot more, they're a tougher team. And then you have a legit NFL quarterback under center.
So they're looking to throw, and Mendoza flips it. Easy pitch and catch. There's Omar Cooper Jr.
I can definitely see why teams can get off to a slow start, especially the first play is like, wow, this is real football again. I haven't played football in 26 days. We were so hungry for this game and all the anticipation of this game that's been brewing for the 26 days ever since the Big Ten Championship. We were ready for it.
Launching to the end zone, Surratt's out there. Touchdown Hoosiers, pouring it on.
What don't they do well, Scott? They do everything really, really good.
The Hoosiers hammer Alabama here in Pasadena and head to the semifinals, Peach Bowl, for a chance to play in the national championship game.
our team performs fantastically throughout the entire season, and I was blessed and honored by God to be able to receive that award. And now all I got to do is do my part in this great unit in order to try to get a win every single week. Thanks so much. God bless. Have a good one.
A standing room only crowd of more than 71,000, most of them clad in cream and crimson, filing into Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta for tonight's college football semifinal.
It was like 80-20 in that building, at least 80-20 Indiana fans.
We talked to Signetti and he said just based on the tickets, we're thinking about 85 to 90% Hoosiers. I'm like, there's no way. Sure enough, I think he might have undersold it.
And you build up, and first play.
The quick pass is intercepted. It's going to be run in for an Indiana touchdown. The
it was just this like solid red blinking light in your face. It's probably going to be another Indiana night.
The impact that this Hoosier crowd had on this game tonight, how would you measure it?
It was because of how the game started. Pick six right out of the gate. It was immediate engagement.
And Fernando again looks to throw it. Now he's going deep, way deep, and the catch is made! What a play!
Mendoza is surgical. He's accurate. You can tell the ball spins when it comes out of his hand. It just looks like no moment is too big for him. And I know you hear people say that. The ball was on the face mask of the receivers the entire night tonight.
Gigantic pro-Indiana crowd, and they're loving every minute of it. Fires, back line of the end zone, touchdown. Elijah Surratt.
3 incompletions and 5 touchdowns in the biggest game of your life yet. I know you give great thanks to God, and I appreciate that.
It's such a great collaborative effort. The culture within the administration, the coaching staff, and in the locker room, it provides such great synergy. Along with us always, counting on the man above. I can't give enough glory to God. He's done so much for his team, done so much for me, and just so excited to be Peach Bowl champs.
So they win the most recent biggest game in school history, 38-3 over one of the great programs of all time, Alabama, and now 56-22 over the Oregon Ducks.
Welcome to Miami and the College Football Playoff National Championship.
Growing up in Miami, was the dream to play for Miami, to be a Hurricane?
Yes, the dream was to play for Miami as a Hurricane. I actually live on the U-Miami campus. I could walk to the practice field pretty easily. I'd say it's a 5-minute walk, if that.
As a kid, I had my whole entire face painted orange and green, going to games at Hard Rock Stadium. Then, got passed up on them.
A surprising championship matchup. The Indiana Hoosiers on the brink of history, the school's first national championship and a perfect season. The Miami Hurricanes championship legacy has laid dormant for about a quarter century. Outnumbered in their own house tonight, try to continue a rugged path. A Hoosier team that was 100-1 to win this championship at the beginning of the season, and a Miami team that was 100-1 on Selection Sunday, sitting there with 2 losses. Very few thought this matchup was possible. But it certainly is a lot of fun now that we're here. They bring it. Pitch to the end zone and fought for it, incomplete. Well defended.
He has the heart of a lion when it comes to competition. He got really smacked a few times in this game. 2 roughing the quarterbacks and 1 high hit to the head weren't called.
Bill LeMonnier, is that worthy of a targeting flag?
Yeah, he came in, crown of the helmet, right into his head.
They hand it off to the fullback / tight end, and he powers in. Touchdown, Indiana. That was from 47. This is from 50. And it doinks off the right upright. Miami had 26 yards total offense until that last drive. Fletcher breaks free. Mark Fletcher in the foot race. Miami touchdown. So Dylan Joyce back on. Blocked. Indiana blocks the punt and falls in it for a touchdown. Isaiah Jones on the recovery. Fletcher walks in. Miami touchdown. What a response.
We took some chances. We played to win. We went for it on 4th down a few times.
Who made that decision? Was that you?
Oh, I did. You did, absolutely.
It's something of a gamble. A lot of coaches would punt Miami deep. Mendoza, ball in his hands. Sideline pitch. Becker comes back to make a catch.
We sent the field goal team out there, and I really didn't feel good about it at all. So-called timeout. Felt like going for it was the thing to do.
The defense was a little bit discombobulated because they didn't believe we'd go for it on 4th and 5. I believe every analytic expert could tell you we should have kicked the field goal there.
Here we go. He's going to take off and run, Mendoza. Weaves his way first and goes diving for the end zone. Touchdown! That's where he won the Heisman Trophy. He's got it on the pitch. Tony breaks free. Malachi Tony spinning, scoring! Makes it a 3-point game again. 6:37 left. The Field goal knocked right through. But Miami and Carson Beck are going to have a chance. Beck steps up, delivers downfield.
Intercepted! And the rags to riches story for Indiana football comes to conclusion, and they are the national champions of 2026. What a football team!
With the first pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Fernando Mendoza, quarterback, Indiana.